A previous video we did here on IGN about Dragon's Crown went into the minutiae of each of the game's 6 character classes, but we never really went into how it was to actually fight in the game. What does combat in Dragon's Crown feel like? What should you expect when you finally get your hands on the game, whether on PlayStation 3 or PlayStation Vita this August? As you can clearly see, Dragon's Crown is a side-scrolling action RPG, but there's a whole lot more to it than meets the eye. Indeed, Dragon's Crown's combat is decidedly deep. It may come off a bit like Golden Axe from the days of yore, but there's a lot more to Dragon's Crown here than mere button mashing. In fact, button mashing will get you killed mighty quick. Dragon's Crown is a game that doesn't only require you to play it also requires you to manage it, deal with your character's statistics, equipment, and more. It's as much an RPG as it is an action game. Once you select your character class at the beginning of your adventure, you'll go through the motions of the game's opening, and before long, you'll find yourself thrust onto the map of Hydaelyn, which is where the events of Dragon's Crown take place. It's from here that you can select from the game's stages and finally get your hands dirty with the blood of human enemies and devious monsters alike. Like Golden Axe or Final Fight, Dragon's Crown takes advantage of its depth of field. While it's a side-scroller, you'll be moving to the background and back to the foreground with regularity. One of the game's major challenges, at least at first, is figuring out if you're on the same plane as the enemy you're attacking. It's easy to get stuck behind or in front of an enemy, and this is especially disastrous when you're using the elf with her arrows or the sorceress or wizard with their magic predicated on precious mana. If you don't connect with every attack with the non-melee characters in particular, you could rapidly find yourself at a disadvantage. Dragon's Crown can get really crowded in battle, especially with all 4 player slots filled and a slew of enemies in the mix. You can actually set the game to remove some of the clutter if you'd like, including if enemy health bars appear and whether the in-game narrator, who never stops speaking, is heard from at all. But don't be surprised if there are at times over a dozen enemies on screen, all trying to kill you and your party. Thankfully, Vanillaware has given players options in dealing with the constant enemy strife, most notably with the choice to map movement to either the analog stick or the D-pad. If you use default controls, you'll be moving with the left analog stick and using the D-pad to toggle through items, weapons, and equipment to use on the fly. This is especially useful when it comes to curative potions and other buffs you can cast on your party. The right analog stick, on the other hand, can't be remapped. It's used exclusively to explore the environments you're in and force your trusty rogue companion, Ranni, to grab things for you. On PS3, the right analog stick can uncover treasures glowing in the background and instruct Ranni to open locked chests and doors alike. But if you're playing on Vita, this can all be done on the touchscreen, officially giving the Vita version an edge in this respect. The treasure you find can, of course, be appraised, kept, equipped, or sold. You can see our exclusive video on Dragon's Crown's loot system for more on all of that. And of course, for more on each type of character, seek out our exclusive video outlining each character class. Dragon's Crown comes exclusively to PS3 and Vita this August. For more on the game between now and then, keep it tuned to IGN.